Hey there everybody, it's Linnea here for Miss Ink Stamps, and today we're going to create a fun birthday card that has some glitz glitter gel and a light up element. So let's go ahead and get started with the background. I'm going to be using the Kaleidoscope stencil. This is a stencil that I swatched, I guess you could say, to see the pattern when I first got it, and shockingly I haven't used it on a card background. So I thought this would look like a really cute, almost confetti style birthday background. It's just a really happy pattern that's going to show a lot of whatever you put over the stencil. So whether it be regular ink, or in this case I'm using the lovely lavender glitz glitter gel, a lot of that pattern is going to show through. So I'm using my stencil pal to swipe that glitz glitter gel right over the stencil, and look at this. Look at all that glitter and shine. Absolutely love it. I'm going to set that aside to dry. Where I am, we are pretty dry right now. It's not very humid and we're pretty cool. So that's going to dry for me in about 20-30 minutes, which conveniently is as long as it's going to take me to color these little gnomes. I am a slow colorer, so I know that this is just one little image, but it is going to take me a while to color. So let's go ahead and do some Copic coloring. My coloring style, as always, is very easy. I use usually a dark, a medium, and a light tone. I start with my darkest color and just add some shadows here and there. Then I blend out those shadows with my medium, and then I'll go over the whole portion of that image with my lightest color to blend all those colors together. Now I'm going to use some colors that complement my lovely lavender glitz glitter gel background, but yellow and purple go together. They are complementary colors, so they go together really well. But the reason that I chose to color my cake yellow is simply because that's my favorite kind of cake. I love a yellow cake, or like a yellow butter cake. I think that they are the best. I'm using some blue greens or some teal colors to color my icing. So BG 1513, 34, and then 11 for my lightest color. So again, just starting with my darkest color. And then in this case I have two medium colors. So I'll start with my dark medium, then my light medium, and then my light color to color all over the portion of that icing. I continued coloring this little image, and I don't know if I mentioned, this is from the Birthday Gnomes stamp set. These little guys holding the cake are just absolutely adorable. For the gnomes themselves, I'm sorry that my hand is in the way and my image is down in the bottom left, so really you can't quite see what I'm doing, but I kept the coloring of the gnome clothing more leaning towards neutral. So I used some browns, some warm grays, some I used earth browns, so mainly in the 50s family, so 50, 51 for like a light tan color, and then I did 57, 55 for my darker browns. I used some greens and some blues just to kind of keep all the colors more neutral and have the focus be on that background and that birthday cake. Now let's finish up with this card. Originally, I had not planned to make this a light up card, but as I was putting my background together and with that little birthday gnomes image, I thought that the card needed a little something else. I create simple cards, but I like to add a touch of something special. So that glitz glitter gel background was going to be my something special, but I still thought that it needed something. I am using the Easy Light system from Pear Blossom Press. This is my favorite way to make a light up card because you're going to see how easy it is. I want to light up the little flames on the candles, and the Easy Lights have 3 bulbs, which is perfect for this cake because there's 3 candles on here. So there's a couple ways that you can pierce holes in the portion of the image that you want to light up. You can use a paper piercer like I was just demonstrating, but my favorite is this tiny little hole punch. I think it's a 1/16 of an inch hole punch. It's a tiny little guy, just a tiny hole. It's actually probably the same width as the paper piercer would give me, but it's easier and it creates perfect little circles rather than kind of like a jagged cut. So once I pierce the holes in the center of the candles where I want those lights to shine through, I'm going to line up this image on my card background because I need to make sure that the light is going to shine through the background too. So I'm taking my paper piercer, piercing right through that hole and through the background. So I'm holding that image in place, piercing through the background. And then I'm going to go back in with that paper punch and widen those holes a little bit. So I'll kind of punch in like a little trio of circles just to make that hole a little bit bigger. Then I'm going to hold that background piece onto my card base and use a pencil to mark little pencil marks where I need my light bulbs to be. That's just going to help me in assembling this card, because you want to make sure that you put the light bulbs in the correct place so that they're going to shine through both the background and the image. I also need to mark a spot where I want to have that little push button that's going to turn on the lights. And I want to be able to push on that little gnome on the right and have that light up the card. So I added some double-sided tape behind the battery pack. You do need to pop the battery into the battery pack, but that's really it. This is really easy. There's no taping that you have to do to create like the positive and negative ends with the copper wire. It's just the little light bulbs. You're going to have that positive and negative string, so a red and blue, or I guess you should say wire, not string. And then I'm just positioning each of those bulbs onto my little pencil dots, which are where the candles are. And I use some washi tape. And all along the way, I am making sure that this is working. I like to test with that button, test to make sure everything's lined up, and it is. So then I need to add some foam tape. You want to use either double thick foam tape or double up your foam tape, because you don't want this button to get pressed during transit and be turned on the whole time and have it arrive with the battery dead. That would be a sad birthday card. So definitely double up on your foam tape so that that button doesn't get accidentally pressed during transit. I popped that background onto the foam tape, and then I added some 3D squares to the back of this birthday gnome's image, and I'm going to add little dots of my favorite liquid adhesive. This is going to give me some wiggle room, literally, so that I can push my button, line up the holes in my candle with the light bulbs, and wiggle that around before giving it my final press, and then testing again. Remember, test all along the way to make sure that this is working and that everything is lined up. Once it's perfect, I'll give it a final press. And then I also have a little happy birthday sentiment from that birthday gnome stamp set that I'm going to add right near the bottom of the cake, kind of resting on the plate with the cake. This is my finished card. I hope that you love this fun little light up card using the birthday gnome stamp set from Miss Ink Stamps with the kaleidoscope stencil. So much going on in this really easy card. This didn't take me long to complete at all, but there's glitz in the background and it lights up. Nothing better. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I will see you again soon. Bye!